I have had this tremendous opportunity to speak with leaders through a new podcast series that we developed called Leading with Relevance. And I have been able to secure some of the top CEOs and leaders in our country. And I've been around for quite a while. And what I didn't realize is how much I have had the ability to learn and how much I have learned through listening to these podcasts. Because every time that you express, and I've talked about curiosity before, but when you're curious and when you're open, you have a great opportunity to learn, and there's something to learn from everyone. So because I'm doing these podcasts, I create a set of questions and I ask those questions, and you'll be able to see the people that I interviewed, and you'll also be able to see the interviews if you'd like to, and I encourage you to do that, and I'll be doing one each month. Please like and subscribe to YouTube and follow us on LinkedIn. I've also found some commonalities between the first 5 podcasts that I've done. So I'd like to share the top 5 things that I think every one of the CEOs and leaders that I've interviewed have really had those attributes. Number 1, skate to where the puck is going to be. By that I mean that all of these leaders that I've interviewed have taken the opportunity to look beyond what the current is, look beyond the status quo, and really push the envelope. They do that with research, they do that with instinct, but they do make those moves, which kind of ties into point number 2. Show no fear, make bold moves, and again, do the research, but also it's instinctive. But what I found is that people really don't have the kind of fear that maybe the general population does. If something fails, they move on. In fact, some of the people that we spoke to said that adversity and challenges in those difficult times where maybe something wasn't successful was the most important time in their career because they learned more with failure or with adversity than they did with success. Number 3, there are 2 bottom lines. So today, particularly with disease and the millennials, but really the entire population, people are looking for purpose-driven companies. And there's lots of statistics out there that will show that people are more apt to stay with a company if they have a purpose beyond the bottom line. Capitalism is a good thing. Some of our people that I've talked to are involved with beyond profit and involved with conscious capitalism. But they also talk about capitalism as being important because it's a great way for people to earn income and revenue and give back to the community. But beyond that, there's a purpose. Some companies are bringing in employees that wouldn't have a chance to work if it wasn't for them, or to grow if it wasn't for them. There were all different kinds of reasons that people had, but each one of them was purpose-driven. And it's about their entire stakeholders. It's about their employees. It's about people that they care about. It's about their vendors. It's about their families. It's really the whole community. Number 4, be curious. I want to double down on this point. I already talked about it a little bit, but I think that these leaders are ones that take time to ask questions. Some of them talk about surrounding themselves with people more knowledgeable than they are, surrounding themselves with people that are better in some ways, stronger in some ways than they are, more resilient than they are. But one of the things they do is they make a conscious effort to learn as much as they can from their stakeholder community. And then they apply what they've learned to their business and to their community. And finally, number 5, have a growth mindset. Every one of our leaders focused on growing their companies, growing their stakeholder base. And it was really part of the regimen that they had in terms of their business. Some saw, again, skating where the puck is going to be, where the business is going to go, or what the changes are in the environment, what's happening with AI, what's happening in the community. One of our leaders actually recently bought 83 properties in downtown Atlanta to develop a new startup community there and fill it with all kinds of amenities. So each one of our leaders had that growth mindset, and in effect, their companies grew. And sometimes it didn't start out great. In our next episode, you hear from a gentleman that started the Great American Cookie Company, Michael Coles, and he talks about his first foray into making a set of cookies in the perimeter mall. They all burnt, and the mall basically was all up in smoke. And he thought that could have been the end of the company, but nevertheless, it grew into $100 million revenue operation. So this is all to say, I invite you to look at the podcast. I invite you to be part of this. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in respect to what you've learned. But I think you will learn things. I certainly have.